this God that we are serving is a great God. And he knows his own. Even when Satan comes and say, okay, who knows? I don't know. Satan can say, okay, you know what, Baba, I will surprise him and he will disappoint you. And God will say, because God knows you. He knows the beginning, he knows the end. He will say, okay, try your best. When God does anything, he does it perfectly. I've been home before for Tabora, but I know what I went through. Because if I don't buy my ticket on time, I will go. I've come home one time that I had to fly from Frankfurt, within Germany, to Düsseldorf, Düsseldorf to London, London to Accra, Accra to Lagos, just to make Tabora. Because I didn't buy my ticket on time. So the first thing after the service, they were asking me was, Doctor, that's what they call me. Are you going? Two of us, we have bet. The one said, never. What has Nigeria got to offer? That, just like you have said, you can never leave your lucrative job to go and become the primate. What is primate chief going to offer you?
Never.
The other one said, you don't know when God calls somebody. Okay. That person has to answer. I think where the two of them are coming from is quite different. It's not like, you see, if you are vying for a position, you probably have some thoughts, have some vision. I had no vision. I had no, that, if I get there, this is what I'm going to do. Nothing. It never crossed my mind.
Jesus Christ.
So I had no vision. I had no nothing. So when journalists was asking me on Tabora Day, after we descended, how do you feel? I said, I feel overwhelmed. And that's the truth. When somebody will tell you, it's your mommy, as long as your mommy is alive, you cannot make it in life. The young man, 22, went home and killed his mother.
With cutlass, sir.
Yes.
That happened severally.
And it's a Pentecostal church pastor that told him, as long as his mom is alive, he cannot make it. And he believed the man.
Straight away, sir. Without...
Even though when the police come into the matter, did I ask you to go and kill your mommy? No. But you told me that as long as my mom is alive. So, and I want to make it in life, so I have to kill my mom. If they will make sure they attend our hospital, their children go to our school, all these schools and clinics, they will improve immediately.
I agree with you, sir.
Because even when you do something, the people there misbehave. My children will tell me, Daddy, this is what happened in school today. And I will look into it. But when your children are in America, they are in Europe, what happens in Nigeria is none of your business.
I've also discovered that the church established, there's this uniqueness about your church. There is no much noise. There's no much controversy in terms of leadership succession. I mean, from your father, he gave it to his aide, that is the late Primate Emmanuel Adeleke Adejobi, who started the Sierra Leonean church.
Yes.
In those days, with the other one that went to, he announced that this is what I saw, and by the time he was going, angels have started appearing to him that Odito Akoko, and he was telling him that Odito Eje Kimalo, and he announced, and this great man, Primate Emmanuel Adeleke Adejobi, spent 24 years on the throne, and he also saw it in one of the Tabora, your great brother, Primate Gabriel Olusegun Ositelu, who was a fantastic agriculturalist, one of the best in Nigeria, who was not even ready to be there. And he announced to that, this is what I saw, because he has given him a sermon the previous year to mention, to preach. And he didn't know it was a symbolic and baton change, whatever. So he told him, and he took him unaware. He was begging God, and he also did a lot of reform. He spent just 7 years, and he left. And you two, you are not prepared. You are just in Germany doing your thing, and you are the first that it was shown to the probably those that go for prayer, the spiritual leaders, that this is the man, this is him. So how have you been able to manage this transition? Because today in Celestial Church we have a crisis here and there in terms of leadership also. In Kerubu and Seraphim, that great church, after the demise of Baba, there are a lot of potpourri of orders, this one order, your new order,
different types
of orders. It has been balkanized. But what is the secret of the great Aladura church, the Ositelus, that there is nothing like that? That this is the fourth primate I'm sitting with now, and everything is going. You are just in your 24th year now, going to 24th year, and things are just in good order. What's the secret, sir?
This simple secret is because everything we do in this church is spirit directed. We don't use flesh. I know you, you know me, okay, next time I will do you a favor. There's nothing like that. Even the time the spiritual leaders came together on the mount, out of the 16 of them, barely 4 know me.
Can you imagine?
Barely 4 know me. And still, after their spiritual inquiry, listen carefully.
Yes, sir.
Spiritual inquiry. So it's not that, oh, who do you want?
Yes.
You see, because they had to go into prayers for 7 days. Prayer and fasting is likened to the one of Catholic Church, where you see, but a little bit smoke. But there's a little difference. In the Catholic Church is they will also pray and fast for 3 days. But in the Church of the Lord is 7 days. And there's no smoke. What we will do, the Board of Trustees will give everyone a paper and an envelope. So after 7 days, whatever God told you, write it down, seal the envelope. And on the 7th day, the Board of Trustees will come to collect the envelope from each person. And then it's the Board of Trustees that will open it. And according to the Constitution, they will open it, and whoever, just in case, you know, the Constitution says whoever score over 80% will be the next primate. And if there is we cannot say, there will be a situation of less than 80, there may be a winner, but less than 80, they will go next for another election, then they will use simple majority. But as God will have it, there was nothing like that. Out of the 16, 14 saw my name, they wrote down my name. 2 said they didn't see anything. That God is not revealing. So it's not automatic that we think that all of them is going to receive revelation. 2 said they did not receive anything. They prayed hard, but God did not show them anything. And it's documented. The 2 of them today.
When I had the story, I was shocked. And I think I had the story 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and during the research, it was shocking that 14 saw it clearly and 2 were not given any revelation, and that was a validation.
So it was more than 80%. So it was, and there was nobody against. There was no contention. They didn't. It's not that even 2 saw another name.
Yes, sir.
There was nothing like that. They said they didn't receive anything.
And we learned that when the message got you in Germany, you are not totally. You are shocked because at that time, what they call it, I'm sorry to say this, computer engineering was going up and they were paying more money. There was 7 digits millions for you to make, and it was like they were going to take you from the goodies that is coming with your new endeavor. So how were you able to run away from that, that aspiration of yours and come to just be living in this Ogiri? I mean, a global citizen, leaving the whole of Germany to come and live with some people and direct a church. Of course, an African church is a global church, but how did you feel leaving your 6-digit job as a computer scientist and a computer engineer?
This God that we are serving is a great God, and he knows his own. Even when Satan comes and say, okay, who knows? I don't know. Satan can say, okay, you know what, Baba, I will surprise him and he will disappoint you. And God will say, because God knows you. He knows the beginning, he knows the end. He will say, okay, try your best. I just got a job.
Can you imagine?
I got a job that was about that time, because it was in euro, one can say about $30,000 a month.
Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay. Hey.
So,
that's a big one.
It was 24,000 in euro. Maybe that's what Satan wants to use. When they called me, I didn't know anything, unlike what people thought. Nobody told me. They just said, I should come home, I should come home. Okay. I think you are the one that called me. He's still alive. Everybody can go and ask him later. He didn't tell me anything. He just said the church wants me to come home and they are ready to buy my ticket. And I said, when God does anything, he does it perfectly. I've been home before for Tabora, but I know what I went through. Because if I don't buy my ticket on time, I will go. I've come home one time that I had to fly from Frankfurt within Germany to Düsseldorf, Düsseldorf to London, London to Accra, Accra to Lagos, just to make Tabora.
Can you imagine?
Because I didn't buy my ticket on time.
It
is during holiday time, so you can hardly find ticket.
I know.
If it is a week or two to that time.
Can you imagine?
But because I wanted to, I didn't care. I was ready to pay any amount. So because of that experience, that particular year, 1998, I already bought my ticket to Nigeria in February.
Can you imagine? February.
Not knowing what is going to happen, that they are going to ask me to come or anything. So when he was telling me, you have to come, I said, okay. I didn't even go into detail to tell him that I already had my ticket. So when I came, eventually, they just summoned me to the mount. Still, nobody told me anything. Until Tabora Day, when it was, everybody had it. Nobody called me to the corner and said, Rufus, or Kiki, whatever, you are going to be the next one. Nobody did. I did not hear it until everybody else had it on Tabora Day.
This is shocking. Kai.
So
it's a kind of shocking arrest.
I already booked my tour and fro, so I had to go back 2 weeks after Tabora. But maybe the interesting story was, before I got back there to Germany, all the members of the church already had.
Yeah.
They already had me. They had the story, rather.
Can you imagine? So
the first thing after the service, they were asking me was, Doctor, that's what they call me. Are you going? 2 of us, we have bet. The one said, never. What has Nigeria got to offer? That, just like you have said, you can never leave your lucrative job to go and become the primate. What is primate chief going to offer you?
Never.
The other one say, you don't know when God calls somebody. Okay. That person has to answer. I think where the 2 of them are coming from is quite different. One, his mother is CNS, prophetess. The other one was just a Christian, a nominal Christian. A nominal Christian. That one said, I will not. I will just say, oh, thank you, keep your primateship. The one who has a prophetess, a CNS mother as a prophetess, it was then even our choir master. He said, you don't know. Doctor will go. When God calls you, you cannot refuse. So after the service, they rushed to me and said, we bet. Tell us your verdict so that we know who won. And I said, I will go. You know, the one who said I will go was rejoicing. Give me my money. I want. So that that is.
And for you, they were laughing, but you are in a dicey situation psychologically.
Because first,
oh my God,
to be candid, it's not like you see, if you are vying for a position, you probably have some thoughts,
yes, sir.
Have some vision. I had no vision. I had no that. Oh, if I get there, this is what I'm going to do. Nothing. It never crossed my mind.
Jesus Christ.
So I had no vision. I had no nothing. So when journalists was asking me on Tabora Day after we descended, how do you feel? I said I feel overwhelmed, and that's the truth. I don't even know what to say.
Okay.
Something you never prepared for. If you had prepared for something, you'll be thinking, oh, if they ask this question, this is what you are going to ask. We are going to ask. I just felt overwhelmed, and that is the simple truth. So
24 years on that throne now.
Yes.
How will you describe the most challenging moments? I mean, how did you, surmount the pressure of leading people? Knowing things about people this time around, not machines, not computer.
Like I said earlier, God was preparing me unknown to me. If I could lead a parliament of people from at least
diverse background,
minimum from 20 different countries, Americans, Italians, British, Belgians, French, and so on, and led them successfully. Even after I went back, because I've been elected for another 4 years. I've been there for 4 years, and I just like, in Europe you can only do 2 terms.
Yes, sir.
I was just elected. I've been in 2 years of that re-election, 2 years to go. I told them, please, this is the situation. I had to resign so that we can elect one of your. I have 2 deputies, vice president. One of you can take over from me, and we just elect another deputy. And before Godama, they told me, Doctor, don't say anything. Be there until you complete it. We will be doing the work, but we want your name to be there. Your
leadership.
What type of people are these? What is it? I'm not doing anything special. Minus the fact that I was always courageous.
Yeah.
And I was prudent, and I have integrity.
Yeah. That's what they are talking about.
If the German politicians wants to mistreat foreigners, not Africans alone. No, I'm talking. In Germany, as long as you are not a German, there's a foreign law that takes care of all of us. Whether you are British or you are American, it's the same law that guides you and a Nigerian. It's foreigners' law. So they know that I will step in for you.
Okay.
I will challenge any German politician.
Yeah.
And by the grace of God, they don't even want me to challenge them. Because anytime I call for press conference. So, look.
Can you imagine?
For example, when my secretary draft a press release.
Yes, sir.
She will send it to me. I will read it, make input, or edit it, or whatever.
Yeah.
Send it back to her to send to journalists.
Yeah.
And that time, that was giving me media experience, unknown to myself. When I came, many people will not know because many press releases will be given in the publicity director's name.
Can you imagine?
And I'm the one that drafted it. And she did not even have any idea about it. She also will be seeing it after it has been released. It is in the press.
Different media.
And I'm the one that did it. Where his experience came from Germany.
Can you imagine?
One day, an Italian the government wanted to send back an Italian family back to their country being a European, you have the right to stay in any European country for 5 years. but you must have a source of income.
Livelihood.
This Italian was having a shop, was selling fruits and all the rest of them, and flowers. But after a while, somebody that has lived in Germany for over 15 years, the business collapsed, and
can you imagine?
The family was depending on government, social, support. And they wanted to get rid of them.
Just like that.
And as a member of the parliament, I have the mandate.
Yes, sir.
Even my work must release me to go and attend to their needs, to any foreigners' needs. So I just left work. I went straight, because once they take you to the airport, the likelihood that they will deport you is...
You just put it in the plane and you'll find yourself in your country.
And by the special grace of God, because of my status, I can enter the airport, whether I'm traveling or not, anytime, any day. As the president of the Foreigners' Parliament.
Yes, sir.
So I didn't even go to the airport. I just went to the political head of the Ministry of Internal Affairs.
Okay, sir.
This is what is going on. Please, I want it stopped. It's not fair to this family. I said, okay, please, doctor, don't call press conference. What are their names? The woman just called them, please, take those family back to their house.
Can you imagine? Just like that?
Yes. I will expose them.
It's called back to diplomacy.
God bless you. Because politicians, one thing they don't want bad press.
No scandal.
They don't want scandal, they don't want bad press, because the election will come.
And then we know...
And these people can vote.
Yes, sir.
Particularly the Europeans. We Africans cannot vote, but the Europeans can vote in the local election. So, and it will not go away. So it was resolved. Even Africans too, who wants to get married, and the first threaten them, go back to your country. When you marry, get married there, apply that your spouse wants to join you, and they know that it's so difficult. They can intentionally delay you minimum is 6 months, but they can delay you for over 2 years for the other partner to lose interest.
Can you imagine?
In that relationship.
Can you imagine?
So once I stepped in, it's over.
This is another aspect of foreign affairs we didn't even know. all these guys that want to travel now, that the husband is there, the woman is here, want to join. This kind of thing happen.
They are doing it intentionally. The one that really surprised me most was a German and a Kenyan. The woman is pregnant, for God's sake. The assistant head of the Internal Affairs Ministry, I said, doctor, don't be deceived. Pregnancy means nothing. These people will get themselves pregnant to help somebody. I said, I've never had such a thing. I said, I've done it many times. You can still pretend, collect money to help somebody, but get pregnant to help somebody. I said, I've never had it before. But please, this case must be resolved. I said, there's nothing you can do. I just went to his boss. The boss resolved it immediately.
That's extreme.
Extreme. They hate this thing. That's why they tell in their news, they tell their children, these foreigners are deceiving you. They just want to use you to get German passport. But when they fall in love, they don't listen to whatever government can say, whatever
love is very emotional. Oh my God.
God really used me.
So God was really preparing you those days for this bigger one, and you didn't know.
Yes, that is it. That is it.
I want to ask that, because I've seen a lot in this book. I think this is one of the best books that I ever read on African indigenous churches and the church in general. Anybody that is not reading this book is missing. That's why I decided to bring it from my library today. Is your book that you gave me 4 years ago.
Oh, praise God.
That was July 27, I think. July 10th of July 2018. Give me here. And I saw a lot of things there. And I want to ask you that, what do you think is the misconception, especially of ordinary people, about African indigenous church and the Pentecostal? Why do you think a lot of people have this kind of reservation about white garment church, or what we call African indigenous church? Because your thesis was on church itself that you got your PhD on. It was on African indigenous church.
Yes.
That gave you your PhD, and you've done a lot, the best research in the world about more than we have more than 100 churches here that you spoke about them, that you did a profound research on them, and I wonder your sense of history. But what do you think is the perception? Why do you think people are afraid of us?
It's very simple. Normally, they say knowledge is power. It's what you read day in, day out in the newspapers or see in the news, on television, that will form your basis of perception. So when let me give you 2 examples.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
If one pastor in Nigeria of today, they can say, oh, one pastor from the Pentecostal church committed an atrocity.
Yep.
The news will put it that way. They will not name that church.
I agree with you.
They will just say a pastor of the Pentecostal church or family committed atrocity. When it comes to white garment, they will say a pastor of Sele or Kerubim and Seraphim.
Yes, sir.
You see, so it forms the perception. Even when they say Sele or Kerubim and Seraphim, most Nigerians, I'm telling you the gospel truth, when they see anybody in white garment, they say, oh, are you Sele or CNS? Even they have never ask any of our members, are you Aladura or anything like that?
Yes.
It's CNS, because that is what they see in the news all the time. All the time. I once told somebody, any church, whether white or not white garment, name your church, any church, and you want to be popular within 3 months, not even 6 months. Just start your church and start committing atrocity every day. You will see how popular your church will become. People will get to know your church all over Nigeria and beyond Nigeria. That, news is, bad news is news.
Yes, sir. But it's the major news.
Dog bite a man. It's not news.
It's not news, sir.
Man bite a dog. It's news. Because it's not normal. So that's what people will read.
Unusual.
Anything that is unusual. And then if anything is coming all the time, into your recurrence, that, oh, this church has done this church has done that, it will affect you. And you will always think, why is it all this? Maybe even the last one he read is CNS. Yes. He will say, oh, why is Sele always? Sele to one brain here. And it's not Sele. The last one he read was CNS. But he will say, why is Sele committing atrocity all the time? Because that is what is in his brain. He's reading most of the time and all the time. So that is what is causing it. There's no other. If we are talking of atrocities in Nigeria today, yes, sir, Pentecostals have committed 10,000 more atrocities than white garment.
I know, from different research.
It's partly documented in this book.
Yeah. I saw it from page 600. I mean,
when somebody will tell you, it's your mommy, as long as your mommy is alive, you cannot make it in life. The young man, 22, went home and killed his mother.
With cutlass, sir.
Yes.
That happened severally.
And it's a Pentecostal church pastor that told him, as long as his mom is alive, he cannot make it. And he believed the man.
Straight away, sir.
Even though when the police come into the matter, did I ask you to go and kill your mommy? No. But you told me that as long as my mom is alive. So, and I want to make it in life, so I have to kill my mom. Unfortunately, that is what is happening in our area, in our region, in our own Christianity.
Sir, if you look at the church now, because it's part of your research in this great book, from page 600, there are a lot of things that came out here that I want to bring out. It said, according to Abimbola Delako in a caption, jail is too good for Nigerian pastors, as reported in Punch newspaper of Thursday, 22nd November 2012. Recently, the Daily Mail UK had a feature on one Bishop David Oyedepo. He was accused alongside his son, who manages the UK branch, of fleeting worshippers by making spurious claims and cynical exploitation of the gullible. The undercover journalist who visited the British church and the British MP who condemned him acted ignorant of the antithesis of faith and logicality when they expressed surprise about how people were urged to give more money in return for blessings that were neither guaranteed nor cognizance of the realities on ground. The feature also talked about how much of the money creamed off these worshippers are being repatriated to Nigeria for business. the Daily Mail weeks before ran a feature on another Nigerian pastor in the same United Kingdom, Alex Omokodu, who claims on his website to have raised the dead twice, and another pastor in Benga of the Victorious Pentecostal Assembly, who scam worshippers by selling olive oil and blackcurrant drink at double the market price as miracle cures, capable of curing terminal diseases. Like Oyedepo Omokodu lives large, far more removed from the mess he makes of the people's life. My visceral reaction at those articles was to defend my countrymen. Then here he said, if people have refused to read history books that teaches us that religion came us, Daily Mail suddenly woke up and realized religion is exploitative. Wow, isn't that what religion has been all about for many centuries? How can we say that what Oyedepo and Mbenga are accused of peddling different from the people selling of indulgences in the 16th century?
Yes.
Religion plays on fear to rip off poor and miserable people in the name of God. And the irony is, the more people are deceived, the more devoted they become. So what's new? From appropriating people's money to shoplifting condoms to forcing you to have sex, what have church leaders not done? If people have refused to read their history books that teaches us that religion came to us riding on the back of exploitation and politics, why, with the celebrated cases of Jim Baker, Eddie Long, and Benny Hinn, among others, do people still trunk churches and sponsor their pastors' exercises out of their poverty? Why has the case of financial scandal involving the creators of TBN channel, some of which are disgusting, not caused a mass boycott of these hawkers of falsehood? Why does it spur people to defensiveness instead? Why did somebody like Jesu Oyingbo have followership, black followership in the first place? And why didn't people walk out on Pastor Chris Arikuleme when he charges gate fee before one could attend his annual service? Seriously, who should take the blame? The person who sells snake oil or the one who finds psychic relief, however temporary, from buying? Now, the stories are so much here of people selling olive oil, selling handkerchief, the way they've turned religion, selling things of the holy. Recently, there was a video in America of somebody that you might know, that is the first man that started revival in Lagos, Pastor Jafo, where he was telling people in America that they should come out to buy handkerchief for $5,000. He said he need 90 people to come out, and he called the come out for almost 5 to 10 times. Nobody came out, sir.
You out of your seat. Come on out here now. I have 90 of these, and I want to do something really crazy. See, we Africans, we're crazy bunch of people. Yeah, we're crazy. And I'm number one. Yeah, we're crazy. We do some things you just don't understand. What kind of people are these? But that is why Dr. Sorolo said, you're going to see the first Christian country, first Christian nation is going to come out of Africa. Now, this is what I want to do. I want 90 persons who will give $5,000. Now, I know you've been giving. I know you've been giving every day. You're going to give tomorrow. Come here. 90 persons. I'm going to give you one of these mantles. Yeah. Come with the gift. Sit. Leave your seat. Leave your seat. Stand up. 3. I want you out of your seat right now. You are all over this building. Stand up. Stand up. I'm telling you, if you believe I'm a man of God, God sent me, and I'm not doing this of my own will. 4. Get out of your seat. Get out of your seat now. Get out of your seat quickly. Come on. Come on. Get out of your seat. Greg, are you counting for me? I got about 60. No. I got about 60. There's still 30 people out there. They're out there, but I don't have all the time to wait for you. I'm gonna one more number, and you need to be standing here. You need to get out of your seat. Don't be amongst those that miss God. Don't miss God now. Not now. Not now. Not now. Don't miss God.
90 people. Then that is by the side. Nobody came out. Then we have situation whereby people say they are selling Jesus, blood of Jesus, for so amount peanut. So with all these things happening in the church, and with recent events, somebody saying that he has put the Jesus inside the bottle, that is the power of Jesus inside oil. What do you think the church needs to do? Yes, I mean, the bishop saying that is selling that Jesus, the Holy Spirit, is inside the oil, that you have to buy the oil to see your miracle. So what do you think the church is turning to? And do you think there is a way to at least get people off this megalomaniac, what can I call it, ignorance?
Yes. By the grace of God, we still have ministers of God who are telling us or directing us to the true path. But poverty and ignorance have really contributed so much to all these atrocities. People out of poverty, out of ignorance, no wonder the Bible says in Hosea that my people, Hosea 4:6, my people perish for lack of knowledge.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I think in Nigeria case, it's not only knowledge, poverty also added to it. We did some research in the year past. Most of the countries in the world where people go attend worship services are poor countries.
Can you imagine? Most of the countries.
Most in the whole world. In Europe and America, where the people are fairly okay.
Okay, industrial technology.
They have even social network that if you fall, will take care of you to the barest minimum. It's not that you are going to live very high or anything, but government will pay your rent, they will give you little money to feed yourself.
To cushion your pain.
Yes. And then while you start looking for work, even they might send you to school to learn another trade. Maybe your trade is no more needed in the society. They will see what's your background. Okay, you can still learn this, which is needed,
yes,
and all the rest of it. So they have this social network. But in our own area, in our own case, Africa, there's nothing like that. No social network. So people are forced. The only hope they have is God and the church.
God and the church.
Yes. And the church continue to some extent, not all churches, to some extent, some churches continue to deceive them.
And exploit them.
And exploit them.
So there was a part of your book, sorry sir, I'm very sorry to cut you sir, with total honor. This place, he said, take the case of one pastor, Enoch Adeboye, I'm sorry sir, on his church website. Adeboye claims God told him he has no choice but to keep covenant partners alive for 10 years because they are giving to him within that period. This takes ideas of bizarre and outlandish to another height entirely. One, a God is meant to earn his keep, but Adeboye's own God, whose services people have to pay for, never mind that billions who are not his covenant partners are not only alive, but live considerably better lives elsewhere. Two, can Adeboye personally account for every single one of his covenant partners, and that in those last 10 years, not a single one died? Can he? We are used to Nigerian judges and politicians saying that their hands are tired, but God, that sounds like something from the mind of freaking Hollywood screenwriter. You know? Yeah, then he now says, since the news broke that someone like Pastor Josiah has joined the League of Private Jet Owning Pastors, there has been thankfully a sense of outrage as the exercises of Nigerian pastors. For the record, let me state that Pastor Josiah is not a good poster boy for Christianity. Never mind the various caps he wears. Anyone can, just because of his bling bling jewelry, like 15 cents. Anyone can do anything in Nigerian Pentecostalism. I make this point. Anyone can do anything in Nigerian Pentecostalism. I make this point debatable. Of course, not just because of his bling bling jewelry, like 50 cents, or even his bond with the present occupant of the villa in Aso Rock. Then, in the following pages, atrocities, you will see here PFN Church. Pastor 40 divides 10-month-old girl in the church. Pastor raped 12-year-old general overseer's daughter. That's another church in Edo State. Then this one is in Lekki. Then pastor raped me countless times to cleanse my spirit. That is one church, a general overseer of Mountain of Mover Fire Ministry Church in Nyanya in Abuja. Then you see two pastors jailed 10 years for unauthorized banking. Then another one, pastor arrested 21-year-old pastor and wife for buying baby for 500,000 naira. General belief of Pentecostal fellowship. Now, These are the
so numerous.
So numerous. And today now you're even hearing about a girl that is missing in Ekiti, a girl 6 years old, and by the time they caught they saw inside the house of the pastor, they've caught the girl into cooler.
Jesus.
Just like me, inside the house of it's on the internet. Then twice women took girl to Redeem Church in Ako Kadea. A grandma and a child lost. They are looking for the girl since 4 years now. A lot of things is happening in the church, and you are hearing so. So, as a bishop and a man that is gifted in the art of integrity and gifted in the art of God's holiness, how do you feel?
First, you feel disappointed in the sense that most of this thing is coming from the so-called men of God. So it is so disappointing and so sorrowful. But what is the answer? The answer is to continue to teach the people. People, don't allow yourself to be used. God is not deaf. And God is not blind. Call upon God. Talk to your God. He's a loving God. He's a loving Father. Pray to Him. Turn away from your wickedness and turn to righteousness. Turn to God. And God will listen to you. So, you know, apart from educating the people and praying for them, supporting them prayerfully, there's very little we can do.
Little you can do, sir?
Yes. Because except the people are ready.
The masses.
The masses.
Because you're talking about poverty and lack of education as instruments for spiritual enslavement.
Yeah, that prayer, by the time God will answer it, it may not be exactly what we were expecting. Because some needs to do with leadership.
Oh, leadership.
Yes, because by the time we have an intelligent leader, well-exposed leader, and a leader with the fear of God. Because if you have the fear of God, you want elders to enjoy what you are enjoying.
Yeah.
Okay, let me use myself
as a case study.
As a case study, this church. When we started our primary school during this administration, from the scratch, and the secondary school, God knows. Even I don't know the woman, to be candid, but the woman seems to know me. We were doing something in Ogere. Our school is in Lekki, in Lagos.
Far away there.
Far away. And she offered me to bring that, Daddy, bring your children to my school. Don't worry about the cost, where they pay millions.
Jesus Christ.
Free of charge. I said, thank you. I'll get back to you. Because I know in my heart, I will not do that. The school that I established for everybody, that's the same school my children will go. And that's the school my children were going until they moved to abroad.
Jesus Christ.
My children were attending our primary school here in Ogere.
Jesus Christ.
So why should I establish school for others to attend? My children will be attending another. So then it means the signal I'm sending is that I myself, I don't have trust, faith in that school.
Okay.
So that's what the type of leaders we have in Nigeria are doing. If they will make sure they attend our hospital, their children go to our school, all these schools and clinics, they will improve immediately.
I agree with you, sir.
Because even when you do something, the people there misbehave, my children will tell me, Daddy, this is what happened in school today. And I will look into it. But when your children are in America, they are in Europe, what happens in Nigeria is none of your business. The best hospital, supposed to be the best hospital in Abuja,
yes, sir.
President cannot even go there for treatment. You can imagine what type of country are we in?
Or are we running?
Are we running, if you want? Yes, because that's why I said you need an intelligent leader.
Yes, sir.
You need a well-exposed, not somebody who has traveling to Europe and America, spending 2 weeks or spending 6 months. It's not a good exposure. It's not enough. A well-exposed person, and then a God-fearing, because you want people to enjoy the same thing you are enjoying. So if you want good healthcare system, build it and patronize it. If you want good school, build it, let your children go to that school. and so on and so forth. It's not that you're, just look at Nigeria. What type of country is this that is using 23 years to build 110 kilometers?
I'm surprised.
Lagos to Ibadan. No, I'm so sorry for this country.
When I came in 2018, you were so angry to the extent, sir, with total honor, sir, that when I asked you, your candidate for 2019 election, you said if you meet President Buhari, you will appeal to him that, please, sir, kindly go and rest. I love you. At that time, you said one Omoyele should rest your preferred and that we should encourage him. So now, 4 years after now, how did you feel now?
Number one, I feel vindicated. No, that's number one. Number two,